I mean, this is beautiful. Watch this.
Right now.
Drives a longer, quicker.
Caitlin Clark had another amazing game, scoring 26 points and making 12 assists in an exciting overtime win against the Indiana Fever. Her great performances are pushing her beyond just Rookie of the Year talk. She's now aiming for the MVP title. With A'ja Wilson injured, Clark has a chance to pass her and win the MVP award. The path is clear for Clark to rise to the top.
Caitlin Clark is running away with the WNBA assists lead. She's 25 better than anybody else in the league. It's pretty extraordinary for a rookie. Caitlin Clark, in a shock to me, has proven already to be a once-a-generation passer. I did not see that coming at Iowa. I thought scoring, yes, she's the all-time greatest scorer in the history of college basketball, men's or women's, but passing like this? I'm talking about gifted LeBron-esque bounce passing. I'm talking about gifted LeBron-esque two-handed, full court, touchdown pass kind of passing. The likes of which I don't see in the WNBA. She's having impact on her team that nobody else in the league is having on her team. This is a team that went 13-27 last year. And suddenly, the Indiana Fever are the hottest team by far in the league. In the league. I've got the fever. I can't help it. I can't stop watching. I can't stop talking about the impact Caitlin Clark is having on game after game after game. She takes over. She maestros. She controls game after game after game with her passing and her carefully chosen spots to score. I still get frustrated because she won't shoot enough in fourth quarters because she defers to her vets. She's got horrendous pressure on her not to be a diva, not to look like she's trying to be something more than she should be as a rookie. I appreciate that. But Caitlin, you're really not a rookie anymore. Just shoot it in the fourth quarter. You're that good. You've proven to be that great. Her three-point shooting has heated up, and nobody in the league can flick logo threes as effortlessly as Caitlin can. I'm sorry. It's gotten to the point where Rookie of the Year is over 2-3 weeks ago. All of a sudden, Caitlin Clark is starting to push A'ja Wilson for MVP of this league, and I am not exaggerating. She is starting to push A'ja as the best player in the league because I don't see anybody control a game the way Caitlin can.
That's a great point. If she continues in the manner that she's going, like this, if the rest of her season looks like this, and we're talking about, half the season worth of games that looks like this, you seriously have to take a look at her now for MVP. 2 triple-doubles? I mean, no rookie had ever gotten a triple-double in this league, which was jaw-dropping to me. I was like, really? No kidding? No rookie had done it. She does it, and then she does it twice. And in case you guys haven't noticed this, I have, and I obviously make a lot of videos on it, but every game that she plays in, some kind of a new record is set, previous record falls, or she just creates a new record of some kind. And that 37.6 points per game that she is basically directly responsible for in some way, either assisted or scored, it's mind-boggling. It really is. I think we've got to start taking a serious look. Never mind what she's done for attendance and for viewership, which we just talked about. You want to talk about most valuable player of the league. There you go. I mean, all parts of it. On the court, off the court, surrounding the court. Seriously, she should be the logo. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Clark is not just another rookie.
Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie. She's been a game changer, putting up record-breaking numbers and leading Indiana's offense like an experienced player. To understand her impact, just look at Indiana's improvement. Last season, they finished with a poor 13-27 record. Now they have a win percentage of 1.917 and are only 2.5 games behind the Seattle Storm for the number 5 seed in the playoffs. This kind of turnaround is incredible, and Clark is right at the center of it. Her stats back it up too. She leads the league in assists, hits 37% of her three-pointers, and finishes 63.6% of her shots within 5 feet. As Skip Bayless might point out, Clark isn't just creating chances for herself, she's making the entire team better. When she's on the court, Indiana's offense becomes the best in the league. What really makes her different from Aja Wilson? Clark's points are often unassisted more than any other player in the league. She's creating her own offense, helping her teammates score, and putting up more points per game than anyone in WNBA history. The real drama of this season? It's all about Caitlin Clark, but let's not forget Aja Wilson. For most of the season, Aja Wilson was seen as the unstoppable MVP favorite, averaging a jaw-dropping 27.3 points, 11.98 rebounds, and 2.4 assists. She hadn't missed a single game since August 2019, earning her the title of the league's Iron Woman. Until now. A recent ankle injury against the New York Liberty has left her on the sidelines. Coach Becky Hammon remains optimistic, calling it precautionary, but this injury couldn't have come at a worse time. With the Las Vegas Aces deep in the playoff hunt, even a short absence from Wilson could shake things up, and possibly cost her the MVP title. As Skip Bayless might say, injuries are part of the game, and when it comes to MVP, availability is just as important as performance. But while Wilson sits out, let's not lose sight of what's happening in Indiana. The Fever's rise is tied directly to Caitlin Clark's brilliance. When Clark entered the league, critics wondered if she could handle the professional level, especially with Indiana's brutal early schedule against powerhouse teams. The doubters had their moment, but Clark, fueled by pure determination, silenced them all. Fast forward to today, and Indiana has won 14 of their last 20 games, with Clark leading the charge. It's not just about stats. Caitlin Clark's leadership speaks for itself. Her performance in Wednesday's win over the Los Angeles Sparks, where she notched a 24-point, 10-rebound, 10-assist triple-double, proves she's more than just flash. Clark is focused, relentless, and most importantly, she knows how to win. As the playoffs approach, she's only gotten stronger. After a month of rest due to the WNBA's break for the Paris Games, Clark has been playing the best basketball of her career. That's exactly why Indiana is now a team to watch. It's not just Clark's talent, it's her ability to rise when it matters most. Still, we can't overlook what Aja Wilson has done this season. Wilson has been the driving force behind the Las Vegas Aces, pushing them toward another WNBA championship. Despite being surrounded by stars, she's remained dominant, leading her team in scoring and rebounding, and she's dropped over 40 points twice in her last 5 games. Her impact is felt on both ends of the court, but even with Wilson on the bench, the Aces haven't missed a beat, keeping a solid net rating. That says a lot about the depth of their roster. Wilson is amazing, no doubt, but her team's ability to hold their own without her might slightly dull her MVP case. Now compare that with Indiana, where Clark's presence is everything. The Fever's offense thrives on her playmaking and clutch scoring in big moments. As Skip Bayless might point out, when talking about value, you can't ignore the team's support. Wilson has more backup than Clark, hands down. The upcoming Fever versus Aces matchups are now can't-miss games. Not only will they feature 2 of the league's best players, but they could also decide the MVP race. These games are Clark's chance to solidify her spot in the MVP conversation. For Aja Wilson, it'll be a test of whether she can come back from injury and maintain her dominance. As Skip Bayless might say, this is where legends are made. The stage is set for an epic showdown between two stars, and these could be the most exciting games of the season. Caitlin Clark's MVP case grows stronger with every game. Her transformation of the Fever into playoff contenders, her historic stats, and her leadership both on and off the court are undeniable. With Aja Wilson sidelined due to injury, Clark has a real shot at claiming her first MVP award. As Skip Bayless would likely say, it's Clark's moment. She's earned it, proving it night after night. And I have to agree. What do you think? Will Caitlin Clark take the MVP crown this season? Or do you think Aja Wilson's return will keep her on top? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
This here with Pacers Sports and Entertainment. Travel home safely. Go Fever!
Picture this. It's Friday night, the Fever are battling it out on the court, and who do we spot courtside? None other than Connor McCaffrey, Caitlin's man, sitting pretty next to Pacers superstar Tyrese Halliburton. But here's where it gets wild. Connor, who's not just arm candy but actually works for the Pacers, went absolutely bonkers supporting his girl. We're talking standing ovations, wild cheering, the whole 9 yards. According to the Indy Stars, Chloe Peterson McCaffrey, along with Halliburton, stood up to applaud for every major Fever play. Before the game started, McCaffrey made it clear that he was also a huge fan of Clark's pre-game outfit. He posted a photo of his girlfriend on his Instagram stories with the ahem emoji. McCaffrey, who celebrated his 1-year anniversary with Clark last April, continues to be a huge pillar of support for rookie phenom. The 22-year-old posted a heartfelt message to McCaffrey for his birthday in July. Clark wrote to the former Iowa Hawkeye on Instagram, "Celebrating you is easy. Thankful to have someone as selfless and as loving as you in my life. May this be the year you finally find a way to outshoot me. Love you always." Wednesday was another historic night in the WNBA for Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark. She became the 5th player in WNBA history to record 2 triple-doubles in a season while beating the Los Angeles Sparks, 93-86, in Indiana. The rookie recorded 24 points, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds, shooting 47.1% from the field. After her elite-level performance against the Sparks, Clark was seen meeting with a few upper-echelon fans on the sideline. She met with NBA star Tyrese Halliburton and shared a moment with her boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey. Both McCaffrey and Halliburton were seen sitting together courtside. During the game, Clark became the fastest in WNBA history to record 100-plus three-pointers made. She's been sensational in her first year in the league. Fans anticipate the rookie breaking records in every game. Clark's skills as a scorer and as playmaker have helped open doors for the Fever. She leads the league in average assists, which has elevated the play of stars Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell finished the win over LA with 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Boston had one of her best games of the season with 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Just obviously now you're used to all the hype and everything like that, but when you go to all these cities, you go to see the stadiums, and you see so many people wearing Clark jerseys or shirts and stuff. What's that feel like to you, and kind of just, how's that like?
Yeah, I think it's fun for myself, but I think a lot of these cities that we're still going to now is like kind of my second time, so I know what to expect, what the venue's like, but the crowds, that's never something that gets old or something that you get used to. Like, super fun for myself, and every place is still really different and unique in their own way. We're just in Minnesota, and now we're here in Atlanta, and it's just, the arenas are different. I felt like the last time we were here, there was like a lot of just basketball fans, like a lot of people that really appreciate the game and understand the game and wanted to support the game of basketball, especially women's basketball. So I expect the same. And for myself, like it's really fun getting to see young kids in your jersey or whoever it is, and you're trying to take some time to interact with them.
Caitlin, you've hit some recent milestones, and you ended the night with 81 made three-pointers, which trails the Dream's Ryan Howard, who had 85 in 2022 for most made three-pointers by a rookie. What's your perspective when you hit these milestones and that you could hit another one here tonight in Atlanta against the Dream, against Ryan Howard?
Yeah, I mean, usually not something you're really aware of until it happens, I guess. And obviously Ryan had a really good rookie season, and she was somebody I played with when I was in high school, and she was in college on Team USA, on our U19 team. So, I know her pretty well and how talented she is. So it's definitely really cool. But I think it just comes with playing the game the right way. Especially playing offense the right way. I think our offense has continued to start to flow a little bit more, has opened up some looks for myself along with my teammates. So just continuing to do that, I think is going to be really important for this group.
Caitlin, Coach Size has done a lot to bring the team together. Like I've seen you play baseball and all kind of different initiatives to kind of bring the team together. Have you seen those things translate on the court?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not going to really translate anything skill-wise, but I think having good relationships with your teammates is super important. I think sometimes that can be hard to do at the pro level. Something that's very kind of easy in college. That's who you're kind of stuck with for 4 years. Obviously, things are a little different now with the transfer portal, but I think in the pro level, you don't always have one time to build those relationships. Like you're professionals, you're trying to go about your business and do all the right things. And I think it was a good break for us, obviously the Olympic break, having that time where we had most of our team together and being able to do some fun stuff away from basketball where the environment's loose and it's fun and you kind of get to know your teammates better and their personalities. And, I think maybe it doesn't really need to be on a deep level, but those fun, whether it's, playing baseball or putt-putt or whatever it is, those are fun activities that you get to share with your teammates and be competitive. And I think it definitely helps grow relationships from that standpoint.
Hey, Caitlin, you all haven't played the Dream since late June. What are some of the things that have been different that you've seen from the Dream since that last time?
Yeah, well, I think both teams are very different in the ways that they play. Obviously, the injuries that they had, I think they're starting 2 or 3 different people differently than what we played when we played them in June. So you can go back and watch that film and watch some of what they did, but you try to watch more recently of what they've done. They're really good in transition. They have really good, ISO players that are really good one-on-one. So you're gonna have to be able to guard your man. But I think our team defense is gonna be very important. I think we're a step behind versus Minnesota. And that's not something we can do tonight. Is like, we really got to pull over in rotations and be there for our teammates because they have some very talented players on this team. But, I think they're running some different sets as well too on the offensive end, and being much more intentional in that action. So just preparing for that too.
Caitlin, how do you describe where you are now as opposed to the start of your rookie season? You've had the break. You've had a couple of wins now after the break. How do you feel now as far as the mental and the physical aspects of getting the leadership and your legs and your mind together for this second half run?
I'm just trying to take it game by game. I feel the best I've probably felt all year long from a comfortability standpoint, but also from just how my body feels and understanding the game and everything like that. I still feel like I'm learning every single day, and I still feel like there's just so many areas for me to continue to improve. And I think that's the most exciting part for myself. And I think also for our team, you still find areas where we kind of have a lapse. And that was the case versus Minnesota, where I think Christy broke it down, and in about like 6 minutes of gameplay, we gave up like 30 some points. So it's like, those little margins, you can't make those mistakes versus these teams. It really costs you. You can maybe give it up one time where they go on a little run, but you can't give up 2 or 3 runs. It's really hard to recover from that. So I think just continuing to push myself and be a good leader and find my voice too. Obviously, that can be hard at times as a rookie and as a point guard, but that's something that's going to be very important for this team down the stretch. And, every single game is going to be very important for us. And you see this one's especially important.
Good. Last one on Zoom. Matt, want to go ahead?
Okay, well, just to kind of follow up on the end of your last response, the Dream are only 2.5 games out behind you guys, so tonight's going to be important for playoff positioning. Has that been a message that you and your teammates have been kind of internalizing in the lead up to tonight?
I don't think that's not a conversation that we've honestly had. I think everybody's aware. It doesn't really need to be spoken. If you are following the league, it's very evident of what it is, and obviously the playoffs are where we want to be, and we know how close that race is going to be. So every single game is important, no matter who you're playing, whether people are, have already clinched their playoff spot, whether they might not even make the playoffs. Every single game is going to be important for us down the stretch. And I think every person in our locker room knows that. But I think we're just trying to go one game at a time. Even if you lose game, not all is lost. Obviously, we come into every game with a mentality to win, but this is a very tough league. We understand that and we know that. And I feel like we're playing good basketball right now, so just continuing to try to carry that through this.
The WNBA playoffs are right around the corner, and tensions are higher than ever. Teams are battling it out for those crucial playoff spots, and every game counts. It's in this high-stakes atmosphere that ESPN decided to drop some bombshells about Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever.
This is what the WNBA standings look like right now. 7 of the top 8 teams have clinched their playoff appearance. Number 8 is still very much up for grabs. The teams that you see 8 through 11 could all end up in that final spot. LA is no longer eligible for the playoffs.
Now, before we jump into the juicy details, let's set the scene. As you can see from these standings, the WNBA playoffs are right around the corner, and tensions are higher than ever. Teams are battling it out for those crucial playoff spots, and every game counts. It's in this high-stakes atmosphere that ESPN decided to drop some bombshells about Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. But here's where things get interesting. When you actually listen to what the ESPN analysts are saying, it's like they're reading from a completely different script. Instead of the hate fest we were expecting, we're hearing nothing but praise for Clark and her team. Talk about a plot twist.
Well, I think the New York Liberty, y'all, they are in a do-or-die situation. I think it's their year. I like the way that they are playing. They've got 4 players that are scoring double digits. Sabrina Ionescu is having a fantastic year in terms of taking the next leap in her game. And frankly, due to contracts, if they don't get it done this year, I'm not sure how that's going to go as you look forward in terms of the future of this organization.
Let's break down what's really going on here. The ESPN panel, featuring experts like Monica and Carolyn, start off by discussing the current WNBA standings. As you just heard, they're all business talking about which teams have clinched playoff spots and who's still fighting for that last coveted position. But then something unexpected happens.
In the bottom half, I think that Indiana is a problem.
Yeah.
And the way that they are playing as of late, when you look at the numbers of what Caitlin Clark...
When asked about the most dangerous team in the lower playoff seeds, Carolyn doesn't hesitate for a second. She points straight to the Indiana Fever, and guess who's at the center of her praise? That's right, Caitlin Clark herself. Now, if ESPN was really hating on Clark, you'd expect them to downplay her abilities or focus on her weaknesses. But that's not what we're hearing at all. Instead, Carolyn goes on a full-blown hype train for Clark and the Fever.
Has done her improvement in how she has adjusted to the speed of the game, and her players have gotten used to playing with her. She knows how to lay it out on a dime.
She's practically gushing about Clark's improvement since joining the league and how she's adapted to the pro game's speed. But wait, it gets even better. Carolyn starts breaking down Clark's game in detail, and let me tell you, it's nothing short of glowing.
Her court vision is impeccable, and now her teammates are ready to catch the ball. They trust she's going to get it where it needs to be. But y'all, the favorite part of my game from Caitlin Clark is this behind the back pass. Come on now. Come on. I love it.
Just look at that behind the back pass. Carolyn calls it out specifically, saying how much she loves seeing Clark pull off this flashy yet effective play. Now, if you're like me, you're probably scratching your head at this point. Where's all this supposed hate we were promised? Because all I'm hearing is an ESPN analyst absolutely raving about Caitlin Clark's skills and impact on the game.
2 of those highlights, I believe, were a Clark-Boston connection. Those 2 have been the second best scoring duo in the league behind A'ja Wilson and Jackie Young. It has been so incredibly efficient.
But the Clark Love Fest doesn't end there. The panel goes on to discuss how Clark has developed an incredible on-court connection with her teammate, Aaliyah Boston. They point out that this dynamic duo has become the second best scoring tandem in the entire league. The only pair that's outscoring them, A'ja Wilson and Jackie Young, who are absolute powerhouses in their own right. That's some elite company Clark is keeping, and ESPN is making sure everyone knows it. What's really interesting is how the analysts talk about the chemistry between Clark and her teammates. They mention that Clark's teammates have gotten used to playing with her unique style. They trust that when Clark has the ball, she's going to find them in the perfect spot for a score. That's not just good basketball. That's leadership and team building at its finest.
The numbers bear it out. They've been on terrific tear since the All-Star break, but it also looks like they're playing with joy. They are gelling and having fun.
The panel even goes as far as to say that the Fever are playing with joy and gelling and having fun. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that doesn't sound like criticism to me. It sounds like ESPN is painting a picture of a team that's coming together at just the right time, with Caitlin Clark as the catalyst for their success.
Kelsey Mitchell,
Ooh,
25
say.
points a game in August, had 25 in her game in September. You better watch out for her. And Lexi Hall in the starting lineup. That's a
entire
defender
group
they
is
need.
so fun to watch right now.
But here's where things get really interesting. The analysts aren't just focusing on Clark's offensive prowess. They're quick to point out how her presence on the court is making her teammates better. They specifically mention Kelsey Mitchell, who's been on an absolute tear lately, averaging 25 points per game in August. And let's not forget about Lexi Hall, who's been making waves in the starting lineup with her defensive skills.